We are now live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I'm just joined in the studio by Mr. John Upton, who at the moment is actually trying to get his camera working. So I'll bring John on screen. 3, 2, 1, it says. I'm just going to hide that, and we say hello and good morning. See, I told you John's here but not here because we can't see him, and Peter's not arrived yet. So say good morning to everybody on Royston Radio. If you're listening to us now, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll be able to hear John in a moment. I'm just going to check my. Just a minute. I should be able to hear you now, John.
Can you hear me? But can you see me?
No, I can't see you. You have got the ubiquitous XSplit VCam screen, and you're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. So I say welcome to the show while John sorts his camera out. And this is incredibly Blabbing for Britain, episode 403. And this is a UK news review. And normally on screen there will be three of us, but today there's only me. Okay, now all sorts of things happening at the moment. At 10:15 this morning, it's Thursday, it's the 18th of January. Our Prime Minister is talking at 10:15. He's got a news conference. It'd be interesting to see what he's got to say about that, because over the past couple of days, our government have been pushing through, or starting to push through, the third bill about sending people to Rwanda. John's hopefully about to refresh and come back in, but we'll take that as read. And importantly, it is, of course, the tennis season has started. The Australian Open is ongoing in Melbourne. And at this very moment, Emma Raducanu, I knew I'd get that wrong, is actually playing. And she is one set all, but she's just been broken in the third set. So we're keeping an eye on that. We're keeping an eye on Rishi Sunak's press conference, and we're keeping an eye in the studio on Mr. John Upton, who's still struggling with his camera. Oh, Peter's here. So, good morning, Peter. I can't hear you. I heard John a moment ago, so I can't think. Yeah, I think I'm.
You didn't even give me time to set up.
Well, it is. I mean, let's be fair about it. It is 4 minutes past 10.
Yeah, however, I'm a busy man. Yes, right. Is John here?
Sort of.
Right, okay.
He's having problems with XSplit VCam, so yeah, we know it's a problem from time to time.
Right, what's happening? Let's get into this news right away. What's happening?
What's happening? Our Prime Minister is speaking at 10:15. I've got Sky News open, so we can keep in touch with what's going on.
What's he going to be speaking about?
Sorry?
What's he speaking about?
He'd be speaking, I would think, about Rwanda, because the vote in the Commons last night went his way, and he's going to tell us basically how well he's doing.
Right. It's the biggest. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's happening here. There's some lawyers and other people sitting there rubbing their hands just now, laughing.
I agree.
And all they're going to do is say, he thinks that flight's going over there. We'll just hit him with this. Bam. Yeah. It's the biggest farce going.
It is, and that's the way people are looking at it. It is a farce. I mean,
making a fool of us.
Yeah.
Making a fool of us. Get Maggie Thatcher out of her grave.
No, we can't go there, Peter. I mean,
we're everybody out. No, but
not into raising people. We're just hoping, technology-wise, that we can get John back with us. No, it basically he's banging we'll go with banging a dead horse because it's just not going to work. I mean, mostly they can send 200 people to Rwanda, and that will only tickle the problem that we have.
If they
Perceived problem we have.
If they do get people to Rwanda, it's a bit of a win, right? Because it's a token gesture, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it means they've managed to do it. That even if one goes to Rwanda, they've still broke the back of it.
Yeah, but it's
Rwanda.
It's not a magic bullet. I mean, it's not a solution to our immigration problems.
I think it's symbolic.
Yeah.
It's symbolic. We've managed to get one through. And they said they're going to forget about the EHCR. Right? Now, another thing that people don't realise is if people come on the boats, they pick them up the boats. Did you know that Britain are quite within their rights to take them back to France and drop them off?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't they do that?
I don't know, because France don't want them back, possibly. I mean, you could get a shuttle going, I suppose, that we send yesterday's people who cross the channel back today and just do it every day, a regular shuttle service.
I mean, here, listen, you think we've got it bad? We haven't got half as bad as Ireland.
How so?
Well, Ireland are actually being flooded at the moment with them. Supposedly refugees. And there's a lot of problem. The hotels are being, as I say, you probably don't know about this because they won't tell you about it, but I watch it live.
Yeah.
Hotels, when they find out a hotel is being used for refugees, they burn them down. Women and children in the prams are blockading hotels.
Yeah.
And it's got so bad that the Gardaí are now arresting them and getting amongst them. And do you know what shocked me as well? We've got a hotel just down from me. And I came up the road the other day. And I've never seen so many bicycles in front of a place. So that hotel near me now has got refugees in it. Yeah.
And bicycles are the way people get about.
Well, what they do is they get loads of bicycles given to them.
Right.
I'll take a picture and let you see them later on. And so that's a sign of refugees being there. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Loads of bicycles they get handed to them.
Yeah. Talking of Ireland and Northern Ireland, there's a national strike taking place in Ireland today. All public servants, be they on transport or in government, are actually on strike. 150,000 people on strike. And they are making a statement that they've not had a pay rise for a long time. And the problem is that Northern Ireland has no government at the moment.
Yeah.
And our government has offered £2.5 billion if the government comes back and starts governing Ireland. And amongst that is 600 million to pay everybody their rises. Yeah. But that 600 million is locked away until there is a government. Now, the DUP in Ireland will not sit with Sinn Féin.
Yeah. I've been watching that as well.
Yeah.
And basically, it's very difficult. But the other thing, the problem, going back to refugees in Northern Ireland, is so these people can come over without a passport, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Ireland.
Yeah, Southern Ireland, as we used to call it.
Well, Ireland, yeah. Did you know that they could go into Northern Ireland, the refugees? They could decide to walk into Northern Ireland, right? Mm-hmm. And after that, they could decide to come into Britain.
Right.
So what they're saying is, at the moment, if I stayed in Northern Ireland, right, I could jump on a ferry. I wouldn't have to show my passport because I'm a British citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're saying you may have to show your passports. And folks say, why should we show our passports when we're British citizens?
Yeah. Yeah. So they're taking a sledgehammer to crack a nut.
Yeah. And it's just absolutely crazy. Do you know what? I don't know if you know about Scotland. What did I tell you last week?
I don't know. Correct.
Right. So our First Minister. First of all, do you know where the drug capital of Britain is?
I'm going to take
Aberdeen.
Sorry?
Aberdeen.
No, Dundee.
Oh, right.
Right. Dundee is the drug capital of Britain. Now, our First Minister, Mr. Youssef, the First Minister, stays in a place called Broughty Ferry, which is a posh area of Dundee.
Right.
Okay, that's where he lives. Now, his wife is a local Dundee councillor. Follow me so far? SNP councillor. She's basically the head of the drugs. Try to sort out the drugs. You with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Married to the First Minister. Last week, there was a drug raid in a house. And people were arrested with £6,000 of heroin. Do you know who one of them was?
A relative?
The First Minister's brother-in-law. Her brother. Okay?
Right.
Now, usually with that amount, right, you're remanded in custody. Right? 3 of them are arrested. Got out the next day. Usually that amount, you stay in jail until you go to court. Okay? So, got out. Now, during that week, when they got out, a man seemingly fell from the top floor of a flat out the window.
Yeah.
The brother was then rearrested.
Okay.
It looks as though the man was thrown out.
Oh.
So that's what's happening in Scotland. It is unbelievable. I mean, you can look this up in the internet.
Yeah. No. Believe you totally, Peter.
Wow. And
yeah.
So that, and not only that, her brother is now in Turkey because she went over to see Turkey's president. And all of a sudden, the brother got out of Gaza and now in Turkey. And before that, Hamza, the First Minister, gave I told you about this, £750,000 of the Scottish money, which he shouldn't have given, as far as I'm concerned, to Gaza. The next day, his brother-in-law was out of Gaza.
So you're saying that's a lot of coincidences, Peter?
Oh, isn't it just? What do you think of that coincidences?
I go with what you're saying, but there's obviously a story there.
But the problem is that £750,000 should not have come out of the Scottish government.
No, it's not his own.
That is not a devolved issue. And this is the problem that all the devolved parliaments like Wales and the 20 mile per hour speed limits in Wales now, right? There's too much devolved governments now. It's costing us a lot of money, more wastage, and they're all fighting one another it's just about Nicola Sturgeon wanted to be out there first. If she knew the government was doing something, she'd go, I'm going to be implementing this.
Yeah.
And you never hear of Nicola now. Never
Oh,
get.
you don't.
You don't see a thing. From,
No.
so
She's
anyway,
really-
that's the situation as it is now. The Dundee drugs are. Member of the family's been arrested for drug dealing. Wow.
Right. Morning, John.
Good morning. I had to reboot the whole machine. Just didn't want to play.
Yeah, XSplit VCAM. Yeah, there's a new version which is vcam.ai, and they've stopped any work on XSplit VCAM to create the new version, which has got the magic letters AI in it. So I think they've left behind the version that we've all got. Yeah.
Yeah, they always do it because they don't even tell us.
No. I mean, they didn't make any great noise when they set up this new setup. They just did it, and people have got to find out about it rather than it being advertised. So XSplit VCAM has become VCAM AI, and you've got to pay again. And I don't like that. When software houses close down and then reopen and say, okay, this is our new whiz-bang effort. We're around forever. Just pay us again. Yep. Okay. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Right. Keeping eyes on the tennis and Ms. Raducanu, who's playing at the moment. And I think, well, they're not saying she's doing well. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Well, as you know, I use Twitter now, well, X. So the most trending thing in Britain at the moment is Rwanda. That's the top trend. Everybody speaking that. So it's quite interesting what's going on, the latest. So that's Twitter's quite fast at telling you news.
Yeah.
And I'll look at that later. The traitors, trending's the traitors. Just to let you know. Okay, so that's basically it. Did you know Iran threw a rocket over into Pakistan?
There are a lot of regional disputes taking place, Peter, aren't there? Because basically it started with Iran sending rockets into Pakistan, and Pakistan now sent rockets into Iran. And neither of them say that they're actually, because relationships between Iran and Pakistan, to the far best of my knowledge, are pretty close.
Yeah.
But they're both saying that they're actually attacking terrorists who are based in the other country. So
Yes.
Pakistan are attacking terrorists based in Iran, and Iran are attacking terrorists based in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could get out of hand, couldn't it?
Yeah. It's coming back. Aye, so basically, and then you've got the free shipping area, the international shipping area, and these poor people going down in their boats are getting rocketed.
Yeah.
Because, well, for whatever the reason. And then they're crying because the people retaliate.
It's a rat's nest, isn't it? Because basically everybody's taking the opportunity whilst there's the Israeli Hamas war going on, there's Ukraine-Russia war going on. There are a lot of different disputes all taking place, and our top topic is Rwanda. Not right, is it? We should be.
Yeah.
Go on.
On Saturday, I went into Union Street, and then I noticed there was a big crowd outside Barclays Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pro-Palestinian supporters.
Yeah.
And the police actually let them into the bank. And they stood there.
Yeah.
in the reception, inside the bank, all this, giving it this. And then there was a man who was a woman, if you know what I mean. I don't know how to explain it nowadays. Probably transgender would be the right word. And he's giving it this way. And I just thought, if you go to Palestine, you'll probably go off a roof. You know?
We have great freedoms in this country, don't we?
Sorry?
We have great freedoms.
Oh, we are such a free country that people will jump in dinghies in a really bad North Sea to come over to us. That's how good we are. We are very good to other people. Yeah, that's how good we are.
Yeah.
And then people give us a hard time saying this is a terrible country. If you're not happy here, go somewhere else. We've got great. No, I thought we had freedoms because we don't have freedom of speech anymore. We don't. That's
we don't.
And I'll tell you, I'm a member of the Free Speech Union. Okay? And you want to see the money that they are getting for people. One was a bank, right? And they had to go to diversity training. And the woman was come in to do the training. And she says, you can be open, say anything. Because he said, if I was to call somebody, or somebody was to ask about this, all of a sudden, the course was stopped. The trainer went home sick for a week because she was that offended. The man was brought in. He's dyslexic. That was one of the things. He was brought in and he was sacked from the bank. The Free Speech Union took up his case. And he won. You know how much he got for his time?
No.
£800,000. It was the N word that was used. You can say anything. Yeah. If someone was to say this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, say what you want and we get it over it. But the trainer was offended, went off sick for a week. Guy got his job lost, and the Free Speech Union fought his case, and they got £800,000. The good thing is about the Free Speech Union is they will fight for anybody that's been wrongly done by, left, right, or centre. Toby Young, have you heard of him?
No. We know that you and I watch different media. Talking of which, though, we can't ignore the event of the week, which took place in Idaho, Peter.
He won 100%.
No, he didn't. Let's go with some facts. He got 50%.
50-odd%, yeah. But in something in the state, there's something about 100%.
Well, there were four people, five people, six people contesting, and he came first with just over 50%, and then the second guy had 20%, and the lady had 19%.
But that's a resounding success, wouldn't you say?
I would say that it's the start of another round of life with Trump, and I don't think that he can be stopped.
No, and I think I look forward to coming back. Hello, Mexicans, get your troops at the border. We're shutting it. NATO, if you want more money from us, you put in the same. Yeah? Rocket Man, are you okay? Don't get above your station.
We're in for interesting times. Basically, the presidential election is in November this year, as it always is. This was the first caucus or first voting event in a state, and there are another one next week, and there'll be more and more and more. And everyone, there's going to be at least three candidates, and President Trump is going to get highest percentage of the vote.
No.
I think this is an anti-politician vote, Peter.
They don't like it. Even their own Conservatives are worried about him because he's got nobody can rule him. He's the man. They're worried, right? And what's the biggest fear of getting Trump in? What's the big fear?
We all had one when he was elected first time round, and that was that he would actually do what our Prime Minister is doing at the moment, do whatever he wants. But he can't, because there are checks and balances, there are constraints. And when Trump's first presidency began, it became apparent that whilst he can give a direction, the government can actually control what happens. And there are checks and balances against any of his.
He signs an executive order.
Well, yeah, but.
And you know when he comes back, the first thing, right, close that border. Mexican, same deal as last time. Get your troops on the border, which they did. If you don't, I'm putting 25-30% tariffs on your goods coming in. Mm-hmm. China, we're not accepting your stuff. Get that pipeline open so we can be fuel sufficient in our own country. The workers in the poor states will get fuel to you. I'll tell you, it's backfired. And you know, he's got a big black following. You'd think, no, he's got a big black following. And people have actually said, because I watch street interviews, as people go about street, and they've said, worst thing I ever done was voting for Biden. Because it's hit them. It really has hit them, you know.
Yeah.
And we've got to take notice of this, because what if Biden says there'll be no deal with Britain? That deal with Trump, just forget it. Why doesn't Ireland become their own country, sort of thing? Because he's pro-Ireland. Ireland. He's not pro-Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. So we've got a year of the race for the White House, and then we've got whoever's in the White House from next January. And we've also got another race in the UK, which is who's going to rule us. What are your thoughts, Peter?
It's probably going to be Starmer.
Mm-hmm.
And boy,
shaking his head.
Me, I think Starmer's got no chance.
Oh, wow. Right. Explain why.
People don't trust him.
Wow.
Even Labour voters don't trust him.
Really?
Just right. Okay. Do we believe in polls or not? POLLS, by the way.
After the past few years, no.
No, they can be false. But the majority of people who are asked about Starmer are wholly positive, John.
Not people I talk to.
Right. Okay. So on a micro basis. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's again, it's going to be an interesting year because at some point our Prime Minister has to call an election. Yeah. Thoughts on May, November, and at the very latest this time next year. And I've got this. I just can't see him as Prime Minister. Can you, Peter? Rishi Sunak, that is. Prime Ministerial.
No.
As a leader.
No, he's too wishy-washy. I don't know why he's doing it, because he doesn't need money, that's for sure. Going back to Labour, going back to Labour, actually.
Yeah.
The Tory party is split. I've actually phoned up Reform.
Mm-hmm.
To ask about their policies and things like that.
Does the election have to be this year?
It can be in January. It's got to be before January.
It's 5 years.
25th of January 2025 is the last date for an election.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah.
So Labour, so I know that the Tory party is split just now, right? And there's going to be a lot of knives in the back. In fact, Nadine Dorris, with what I've read, the extracts from her book, boy, was she so right. It's all coming to fruition. But anyway, the problem that Sir Keir Starmer's got is he's got a split, and it's the Muslim vote. Because one lady, they've set up a Muslim party.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose that vote. And that's going to be a real split. And there was even talk of Jeremy Corbyn setting up a new party. Did you know that?
I know he wants to stand, but I didn't know he was going to set up a new party.
There was talk of him setting up a new party, completely new, to take away the vote from the Labour Party. It's never been such a mix. Now, what would it take to get proportional representation in this country? How do we implement that?
You could have a government that wants to do it, and there are reasons why Conservatives and Labour don't, because they would lose. You don't vote. Turkeys don't vote for Christmas, do they? So if you're not going to get them proposing, Lib Dems would propose it because basically they're getting more votes than they get seats. And if proportional representation was in, then they will get more seats. Conservatives and Labour have nothing to gain, really. Yeah. And the other thing is that proportional representation, is it Italy who uses it? And they've had God knows how many governments over recent years.
But with proportional representation, they would never get to an agreement, would they?
No, and we'd never get a government which had a majority. Yeah, I mean, when the Conservatives came into power under Boris Johnson, they had a majority of 82, which means they could do anything they wanted.
Anything they wanted.
Yeah, and they didn't.
They blew it.
They just threw that lead away. There's 3 more by-elections.
Yeah. They blew it. They blew it. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Now,
big time.
Post office scandal. I watched it eventually.
And did you manage to keep your temper, Peter?
No, right at the first bit, I was fuming. I was in tears.
Yeah, all the emotions, yeah.
To what they've done to that people. And what I hate about it was the post office knew about it all the time.
Yeah.
You watch, I mean, everybody. And the bit I really liked, you're the only one that this has happened to. Well, that wasn't the truth, right?
Nope.
And then when the woman was in court, not her that got a CBE, but the other woman, I forgot, Van or something. She's not there anymore. And the bit in court that I liked says, so nobody in the post office could get into that system. That's correct. Could Fizitsu get into the system? Yes. And it's stuck in her throat to say yes.
Yeah.
Not only could they get in, but if you was a postmaster or mistress and you were on your computer, they could come in behind you and do things and you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, where the union rep went to visit the Fujitsu headquarters.
Yeah.
And the day after visiting, because his wife was a sub mistress.
Yeah.
They had a deficit. The day after he visited, just by coincidence, we're talking about coincidences today, they had a deficit.
44 grand the deficit it was.
Yeah.
Did you watch the program?
I watched all 4 episodes, Peter. We binged last week.
Did you, John?
I haven't watched any of it.
Okay, right.
I'm not a big telly person. I think you know that.
Okay, well, the thing is, that whistleblower. It's hard for a whistleblower. You can ruin your life.
Yeah.
You know? And when they've done that, people have lost their lives. People have died, gone to their graves, knowing they were innocent.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to the people that done this? What do you think should happen to them? This Vanda, whatever she is, and what should happen to these people?
Okay. There should be, once this inquiry is over, there should be a list of recommendations and go with those recommendations. That's the first thing that's got to happen. Second thing is that if a company's software is not working, they should be found culpable. Now, whether they just, because the European head of Fujitsu said we are morally bound to actually pay compensation or take part in paying compensation.
Yeah.
Which is a first step. Whether Fujitsu employees actually come into the firing line, I don't know, Peter. What are your thoughts?
I was only doing what I was told. We've heard that before. If you don't do it, you won't have a job.
Well, true. It's under pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just going back to you know who. If I didn't do it, I would have been shot. Disobeying orders.
Yeah.
You know? But certainly, if they knew, if the post office knew, right, that they were working on there without the postmasters knowing, and they knew that right from the beginning, it's a jail term for them because they've made life a misery to people if they knew about it.
But if the company you're working for has rules and you don't break those rules, how can you be held personally responsible? It's a tricky one, Peter. And morally, anybody who stood behind Fujitsu or stood behind the post office and chanted, "You're the only one," should get some consequences.
Now, what about Sir Ed Davey? What do you think he should do as a liberal?
I listened to an interview they did last weekend, and we normally know Ed Davey as being an up for it, positive guy, and he totally was just beaten over the head by it and given in and said, "Look, I was lied to," and he said himself, "I should have asked the questions of the post office," and he didn't, and he should have met Mr. Bates earlier, and he didn't. I think he has a lot to answer for in this, because he was Postmaster General during 2010-2012, which is when this all kicked off. Your thoughts, Peter?
They love taking the money for it. Yes, on the head of it. Look at the cash I'm getting. It's on your watch, Sir Ed Davey. This was on your watch. Your head's on that execution block too. You love heads rolling, Sir Ed Davey. Chop. You should be one. I think he should resign.
I think basically with politicians, if somebody goes after them, and the newspapers went after Ed Davey last weekend, and you get sort of a lot of people saying, right, okay, you've got to go, then you've got to go. However, if you can weather that first weekend, you don't need to go because it will eventually just quieten down.
But here's the thing. Was he asked, okay, what specific people lied to you? Names, please.
In my past life, I have been involved with very big IT projects with businesses like the Royal Air Force, the Royal Navy, Asda, etc. And the people at the top of the tree have no clue what was done.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. Yeah. And this, well, he should have known, etc. It's just not reality. Reality is that these projects are controlled a long way down from the board level. Okay, you could say that if you're
In this,
leading the board, you're responsible for everything. But you
no,
only get
in this case, John, the television programs, 4 of them actually explained that not only did the politicians know, but Post Office knew and Fujitsu knew all the while. Yeah, there was nobody who in it's very difficult for them to deny something that they've been told. This is basically the top people in each company actually lying through their teeth.
Yeah. You know who I really feel sorry for? The people lived in villages.
Yeah.
They got their windows smashed. They were shunned in the streets. I would walk with my head high. I say I may be 5'5", 5'6" foot, but I'm taller than you. I can look everyone in you in the eye that victimized me. Every one of you. Look into my eyes. And there was a guy in the village, I was reading about it, they never went out again.
Yeah.
They stayed in the village.
I mean, people
had to come and knock at their doors and apologize to them. At least they had the guts to do that.
Well, we know that human nature is such that some people will apologize, some won't. But the sub-postmasters were actually vilified.
Yeah.
They were accused and found guilty of taking money. They were sent to jail.
Yeah.
Served their sentences, and all the while, people knew. And that's the thing that sticks in your throat. The fact that people could have stopped all this at any point just by coming clean. Okay. But what do you think about the program itself, Peter? Because it did sort of pull at the emotions, and it told the story.
Sheila had to tell me to stop shouting at the screen. I was furious. I was absolutely furious, especially how could you put people to, and they were on bonuses and did you ever see that guy getting interviewed, the inspector? He was a nasty piece of work.
Oh yeah.
And they got people jailed, and they said they didn't admit the theft, so we'll get you. Why don't you just say it was fraudulent? 2 different things. And basically, they knew they couldn't get them, and they should never have been prosecuted, but they got them. So, well, if you don't, we need the money back from you. We need all the money, and you're going to jail. How about that now? But if you admit to it, you won't go to jail. And one woman did go to jail. Now she's standing against Sir Ed Davey.
Indeed.
That will be fun. I hope he gets wiped out. Whoosh! Gone. No, but it was very, very good.
I mean, basically, I agree. The acting was good. The storyline was tight, and it was easy to understand. And it did pull at the heartstrings, and it did get you angry and feeling that these people have been, well, hard done by doesn't even cut it. They were vilified. Right, time for a moment's break while Peter catches his breath. And John too.
I'll have a coffee. Right. I'll listen.
While the guys are grabbing a coffee or a glass of water or a cup of tea, yes, they saw the release of a book, and the book is published by Ross Brand, who's a well-known author and broadcaster. And basically, every year for the last 7 years, he has brought people together from live broadcasting, from social media, and asked for our predictions about 2024. So 113 people gave their predictions to Ross, and he does an awesome job on actually collating all the information and actually creating a book out of it, which is a bestseller on Amazon. This is 4th in the series. This is going to be a bestseller too. If you're interested in what I had to say about what's going to happen in 2024, if you're interested in what Marco Novo, my good friend, had to say, if you're interested in what Brigitte had to say, If you're interested in what Karen Glasser had to say, if you want to know what's going to happen in 2024 in live broadcasting and social media, spend your 99 cents or your 99 pence, hop over to amazon.co.uk or amazon.com and search for live streaming and digital media predictions, and you'll find me in there and a lot of my live broadcasting friends. Okay, so that's totally changed everything, and that's available now. And Peter's still making his coffee. Sorry, I'll bring another one up, Peter. Okay, yesterday, I'm going to go here. Yesterday, I did a broadcast, not that one, this one. Just a minute, I've got the wrong card. Okay, yesterday, I did a broadcast about writer's block on the OneStream Live YouTube channel. If you ever get writer's block or creative block, I've got 20 or 30 different ideas in the video. You just need to search for creative block and you'll find me everywhere. Okay, I'm just waiting to see if Peter's still sat down. Peter's still making his coffee. He's sat down. It's 3, 2, 1, hide. Okay, that was timing. Hello, Peter. Right, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that out. And hide.
Peter's talking, but we cannot hear him.
We kind of say,
I'll tell you something. Have you seen a picture of Progetti's she's got up recently?
You mean the AI version of
Is that AI? I mean, if that was what she was like, what a beautiful woman. I thought it was her when she was younger.
yeah, I mean, we could all do AI representations, but the simple fact is that if you've got an AI representation as your profile, you're not living in the real world. Literally.
No. It's like my mate. We were sitting in the pub and he was waiting on a date coming in.
Yeah.
When she walked in, I looked at his face. She was slightly bigger than her photograph.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to everybody, I think, don't take this the wrong way, guys. You've got to have a reasonably recent photograph of yourself.
Yeah.
In your profile.
Yeah.
To be fair to people, because that's who you are. Yeah. And if you don't look as good as you did 20 years ago, hard cheese. But people are not looking for somebody who's 20 years younger. AI, totally different thing. We could all go with AI. We could write our blogs with AI. We could live in an AI world where people never got to know the real us, because any picture you see is an AI generated picture. Any text you read has been written by an AI system.
Yeah.
Not going there.
It is scary how we're going with AI because, well, going back to Fujitsu, if somebody wanted you and they could do something to your computer or something, and all these sorts of things can implant things into your computer and say, oh, he's a naughty boy, go and arrest him. All these things could happen in the future. Scary stuff.
Yeah. With the majority of systems, and hopefully John will agree with me, is there are security systems built in the software, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that? Not.
No, I'd rather talk about Burnley.
Oh, right. I'll check.
No, you're all right, Peter. It's a very short bit.
Okay, I'll go and check the latest news on Twitter.
No, Burnley are not doing well. We're not talking about Burnley. Burnley.
They were very unfortunate in the 93rd minute of a goal being scored. Otherwise, they might just have won.
That is the 8th time where we've been ahead and thrown it away. So it's by now it's expected. We can be 1-0 ahead, we can be 2-1 ahead, and then at the end of the game, 97th minute, somebody scores an equaliser or a winner. That's the way this season's going. And no matter how much, and he's a darn good manager, but he's basically in the Championship. He rubbed everybody's nose in it, but he's not got that situation in the Premiership, and it's just not going to change. Not going to change at all.
So do you think they'll be playing in the Championship next year then?
I think they will and be better for it, because the whole thing about football and supporters is you want to enjoy going to the ground. Yeah, and when you win the championship with over 100 points, everybody's enjoyed every single match throughout the season. It's the entertainment side's been there. It's not
What
there
about
this year.
your former manager? Will he be playing in the championship next season?
Well, it depends what the powers
Because
that be
I'm not
decide.
talking about his personal performance or his players' performance, but
Not everything. Yeah.
their accountant's performance could see them in the championship.
Well, they're under investigation again for the same period of time, aren't they?
No, apparently it's the year after.
Right. Okay. But right. Apparently, Man City
just cannot see how you can have two investigations that create points deductions in the same season. That's not football.
And of course, we're all waiting to hear what waiting to hear what happens to Man City, because they've got a hearing whose date has not been published. Liverpool are playing well this season, though.
Sorry?
Liverpool are playing well this season.
The Villa aren't doing too bad, because we would all have been happy with 10th, let alone 3rd. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Breaking news. Breaking news. Emma Raducanu has been beaten in 3 sets in the Australian Open. So she got to the second round, but she has been beaten by the better player on the day. Long time. Looking forward to Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. That's a time period where anyone with sense doesn't go anywhere near the television, isn't it? Because you get all these people eating strawberries and cream and going.
It's a marvelous 2 weeks, Jim.
Sheila to Wimbledon.
Let's go British, shall we? Shall we talk about the weather? Peter, what's it like in Aberdeen?
It's still cold, icy. The snow's lying, and I'm absolutely shocked with the state of our pavements. Now, when I was a young man, those pavements would have been gritted, they would have been shoveled, you know.
Yeah.
But absolutely appalling where I am. And I went for a walk yesterday. So I'm going to go to Tesco for a walk. And I walked out, and I happened to bump into a guy I was at school with. And the first thing we said, this is shocking, this wouldn't happen our day. Because remember, I was 64 now. I was 64.
We did wish you happy birthday on the day, Peter.
I know you did. And, did you see my thing the next day thanking everyone on Facebook?
Yeah.
But I used to tell you that I've seen trending. Pakistan last night went over the Iran border and took out a few targets with their aeroplanes. So it's heating up.
It is.
7 people have been killed in the area that they attacked. So things are certainly holding up. The Middle East is a powder keg just now.
It surely is.
It's sunny here, but by God, did we have a frost, and it -8 last night here.
Yeah.
We've got 2 days to go, and then the weather goes back to its normal miserable self with rain everywhere and temperatures between 7 and 11 degrees. I'm waiting for that. I really am.
In the rain, I'm quite happy to go outside and work in the rain, as long as it's not torrential.
No, I seen a post of yours the other day, John, where you've had to put up signs to keep people out because it's private.
Well, got no choice. We aren't going to get a huge audience for what I'm going to say here, but you cannot believe the vandalism.
Yeah.
And you cannot believe the actions of some people who walk into your allotment and start as if they own the place, you know?
Oh,
and then we've had one gentleman come in who definitely has mental health problems.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it'll make a great deal of difference, but 2 of the ladies who are always on their plots on their own have said they're very worried. So we have to be seen to be doing something, and putting 2 signs up cost us about 90 quid all told. So
Yeah.
if that 90 quid makes those two ladies feel more confident about being down in the allotments, then it's a good thing.
Such a shame. Did anybody see the video of the Rolex watch gang? Have you seen it? So
No.
down in London, the Metropolitan Police have got a squad, right? And they're going about with very expensive watches in the Chelsea, Fulham area, right?
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it's a black squad of guys. They're going on and they chat to them, have a wee chat with them. Then they pin them against the wall. Their mates come round, and then you see them actually forcibly taking the watches off their wrist. However, what they don't know is it's undercover policemen. And then all of a sudden, the policemen come out from everywhere and they try to run, and they see the guy with the taser gun, whack! And he just went bang! That's a policeman we need. Lovely, jubbly. I saw him watched it 3 times.
Well, that's the police being proactive, isn't it? I mean, it is a real problem.
Great.
People getting their expensive watches lifted. So, proactive policing, undercover.
But I mean, it's just footballers and everything. Even, do you know who got his watch stolen? Amir Khan, the boxer.
Oh, right. Okay.
Imagine him getting his watch stolen. And they basically pin him against the wall and then take it from their wrists. It's absolutely unbelievable.
He said he surrendered his watch easily because his wife was with him.
All right, okay, that's fair enough. But this particular one, it was beautiful to see. That's the sort of stuff I like to see. When there was another one, I'll tell you, it's not a nice one. What time is it? This guy in a tube. He was on a tube. Wasn't in this country, I don't think. He thought, there was a lot of guys, size of me. He went in, and there was a guy went in to the tube, and the doors were shutting, and he spat on him about 6 times. Well, the guy put his hands through the gates, through the doors, and he made the tube door open again. And you wouldn't have seen a little guy's face. As I say, and he says, this is when he knew that he had up, and that guy battered him, and he knocked him out. Probably got arrested for it, but who has got the right to spit in someone's face like that? Boy, that's what I like to see. People getting their comeuppance.
I agree with you, Peter. Totally.
But that one involved violence. No, that's what I like seeing.
Yeah.
My sense of humour.
All right.
We've been toughing out some cupboards and things.
Right.
Yeah. Time to throw things away. And I found, you probably can't see them, but I found 2 little badges. Yeah, can you see them? 2 little aeroplane badges.
Yeah.
And I bought them when I was 14.
Yeah.
From the local airport, from what was called Elmdon in those days, and now it's called Birmingham International.
Okay.
BHX. But I hadn't seen them for, I don't know, 30 plus years. They were in a little film tub. You remember 35mm film tubs?
Yeah.
And one of them says Lockheed TriStar, and the other one says Concorde.
You might get money from it, John.
I'm not really worried about money. I think I'm more inclined to keep them, to be honest with you, Peter.
All right, okay. Yeah.
There's a program. Basically, we break for coffee and cooking every day in the afternoon.
Right.
And in my case, coffee and cheese and biscuits, Peter.
Okay.
Not coffee and cakes. And there's a program on, and basically, what they do is they go out in their van and they visit somebody who wants to declutter. And the two presenters on the program are giving free rein to go around the property and find anything which could be sold.
Right.
Yeah, at auction. So they go around and they find the best bits, and the guy is a carpenter and he repairs one or two things to make them work. And then they go to an auction, which they run themselves, and the goods are sold. And 9 times out of 10, the funds go to charity. So property's got decluttered. The BBC's got an hour-long program, and charity wins. And I think it's a brilliant program.
When Sheila tries to declutter me, I've maybe not used something for 5 years, and I go, I might need that one day. I
That's the thing.
I've been looking for that 5
We're
years.
a bit like that.
On that,
Quick funny one before we go.
Yeah.
I could not find my phone the other day. I knew it was in the car, and I did find it in the end. But in the process of looking for that, I did find I had a second phone in the car. Hello, and it's a Hey Dougie phone that belongs to my granddaughter. And I can't remember when she was last in the car to lose it. It was underneath one of the seats.
Yeah. Wow, look at the time.
Wow,
Yeah.
we've gone over, haven't we? So we better go, haven't we?
Yeah.
Anyone doing anything exciting today?
No.
I'm not going to the dentist as I did yesterday. Definitely not going to the dentist for a while.
Oh, right. I need to make an appointment. They keep sending me texts saying make an appointment. So, shall I do the end bit?
Yeah.
Goodbye from him up there in the depths of Scotland, him down there in the warmer southwest, and me in the Midlands, which is very cold. So, same time, same place next week. Goodbye.
Bye.